Hello, my name is Maribel Vilches and I am one of your trainers from the WEA ELL cadre. And today in this module we have been discussing theories and theorists around new language acquisition. Today I am going to model one of the theorists through an instructional strategy that would help us better visualize what the theory would be like. The strategy that I'm going to use to model one of the theorists' hypotheses around new language acquisition is called pictorial input chart. We have discussed, or we will be discussing during this module, some of the gurus that have created hypotheses around how do we acquire new language. And the gurus that we have been influenced by are Stephen Krashen and Jim Cummins. Today I am going to present the theories or the hypotheses that Krashen has brought within a pictorial input chart. Let me give you a little bit of a reference of what is a pictorial input chart. You may be familiar with this, but let me just give you a reference. A pictorial input chart is, as its name suggests, it's a chart that has pictures. You may notice that I have penciled in the information that I'm going to present, and I am going to create it before your eyes. This is one way to promote ownership. When you see that information being created before your eyes, you're going to be owning that information. Not only that, but as I am providing that information, you're going to be seeing the print that is going to come and the visuals and the images. That is going to cause a brain imprint. It has been proved that when you see and you make a connection between what you see, what you read, and your mind, that input that is going to become gets imprinted in your brain, which promotes a very comprehensible input. But let's start. So, as I said, we are going to be talking about Krashen's hypothesis on how language acquisition, around language acquisition, or how new language is acquired. Language acquisition. This is an opportunity to look at academic words and academic vocabulary in a very safe and risk-taking environment. And I may say, read it with me. Acquisition, my turn. Acquisition, your turn. Acquisition. Let's read it together. Acquisition. Now here, you are looking at the word acquisition and it's printed in your brain. So, Krashen's hypothesis about new language acquisition has some theories and some hypotheses. He talked about that in order to have language being acquired, we need comprehensible input. Comprehensible input. And in order to have comprehensible input and to have that acquisition or to acquire, you need to have information before your eyes. Information comes through your eyes and information comes through your ears. So that information is given to you and this information is coming. You're receiving it through your eyes and through your ears. But then maybe that information is overwhelming or it may not be. And depending on how your emotions are at that state of time, you can better acquire or less acquire the language. This bar right here represents the affective filter. Krashen talks about the importance or how our affective filter goes higher or lower depending on the environment or how the language is being received. So if the affective filter is really low, let's give an example. I would like you to tell me about the hypothesis of how COVID has been transferred from one person to, or from one animal to the other, based on the research done in 1987. Not that it happened in 1987, but at that point, can you please do the research and give it to me right now? If you were asked to be to report on such research information and something has not been given to you, your effective filter will just skyrocket and you won't be able to get the language or get that information that you are supposed to. But however, if we are going to give you information that it's easy to your eyes and to your ears, for example, I can provide pictures. So it is said that COVID was transmitted by an animal in China, and I want to show you a map. And some researchers have been investigating on how the virus is transmitted, and it's transmitted through the air. And there has been some studies that it can live on surfaces such as tables, and it can vary. So I'm giving you the information. Can you please tell me what I just said about how this virus started and how it was transmitted? When I show you pictures about how it was transmitted, your affective filter is going to go lower and you're going to be able to produce back to me, or that information is going to be received in a better way. So let's say that depending on how your affective filter, your language acquisition is happening and you continue to go. Now, once you pass your affective filter and you receive that information in a comprehensible way, or your affective filter was either high or low and it continues to go, it's going to go to your language device. That information is going to go where? To a language device that in our case is our brain. We talk about that brain imprinting. All that information is imprinting in your brain, and now it's making sense of the words and things that you're hearing, and you may be repeating the words. This is when Krashen assumes that learning is happening. So you are hearing all these words about that information that was given to you, and learning is happening. Within this learning, there are two pieces that can happen. One of them, Krashen talks about the monitor hypothesis. This hypothesis speaks about how when we receive information, we monitor what we are receiving or what we are going to get. For example, it checks on grammar. When we are acquiring language and we know sentence structures, we can see that there are differences. And one of the pieces in your monitor can say, he says, he say, oh no, he says. Checking the grammar, or he didn't went, no, he didn't go. So in your monitor, according to Krashen, you are checking the grammar, the correct grammar to be able. Then after the monitor comes into place, it's the editor, which confirms what you just checked in your monitor. Just the example as I gave. If you say, the virus didn't transmit it. No, the virus didn't transmit. So that is confirming. Now, your monitor learning is happening and your learning continues, and it's going to be time now for output. Here, your output can be oral, spoken, or can be in writing. And it can depend on the way or the level or the stage of the language acquisition that you are in. So, according to Krashen, there are many theories that speak on how language is acquired and is learned. You need comprehensible input. Depending on how your anxiety, your affective filter goes in, it's going to continue. It's going to go to your brain to be imprinted in a way that it's being presented. If comprehensible, it's better. Then the learning is going to start to happen because your monitor is going to be working and being activated according to Krashen, where grammar is being checked, and the editor is going to confirm. Once it's happened, your oral production, your output, or your oral output or production, which can be oral or can be in writing, can be perceived. So these are the models on the hypothesis on how Krashen represents how, according to him, a new language is acquired. Well, thank you, and I hope this strategy was helpful to you in order to visualize what Krashen is telling us about language acquisition theories. Thank you.